Yellow pollen means green cash at Days Chevrolet in Jasper. The spring savings event is on at Days, and the discounts are deep. Now save up to $11,000 off select new 2018 Chevy Silverados, or up to $6,000 off select new 2018 Equinox. Pick any Chevy you want and save a bunch during the spring savings event going on now at Days Chevrolet in Jasper, where new Chevys cost less.
Better days ahead, Days Chevrolet.
Find new roads.
What you gonna do with all that junk?
And a good morning, everyone, and welcome to the instant replay right here on FYNTV.com. I'm your host, Dave Garner, sitting alongside Luther Kinsey of Team FYN Sports, and we are proud to bring you the premiere, if you will, of the new instant replay right here on Fetch. We're excited about it. This show, and we're going to talk a lot about it, and we're going to spend a few minutes here in this first segment talking a little bit about the genesis, I guess, of this program, what I like to call the who, what, when, where, why, and how in the reporting world of what this show is all about. And we're going to jump into that, so we're going to spend a minute talking about that. But let me just tell you, folks, we've got an action-packed show for you here over this next hour, or we're joining you just a few minutes past the hour on 10 o'clock on this Monday, April the 23rd. And, of course, this show will be available through the week. But if you are watching on Monday, you are watching live here inside the Fetcher News Studios. And we appreciate you for being on with us. Luther, how are you doing this morning?
Doing good, sir. How are you?
I'm doing great, I'm very excited about a lot of things that you guys have going on here at Fetcher News,
yes,
particularly in the world of sports, and that's what this show centers around. But talk about your experience so far. I know you've been with this crew for a little while. What's your impression so far?
Love it. I've officiated for 20 years of youth baseball and softball, and of course basketball as well. I've 18 years high school football.
There we go.
Out of the Gainesville area, and not been able to do that, here recently, and don't know what my future holds in that. So I've come to this to keep me around the game, and yeah. I love it. We are at, to steal a phrase from our little motto at Team FYN Sports, yeah, we're all over it.
We're all over it. No doubt about it. This show is all about promoting and highlighting student athletes in a positive way. And high school sports is certainly our focus, but we are going to touch on some other things as well. Regional, national sports. Looking down the rundown today, we're going to talk a little bit about the Braves, Atlanta United. They had a big win over the weekend. We'll touch on the NBA playoffs, but make no mistake, the focus of this program each and every week will be what's going on locally in our area with high school, middle school, rec sports, you name it. Now, we got some folks behind the glass here today. I know Sammy's over there, and Amanda's sticking around. I was going to open up the show and say good morning from the office, but I think that's another show that we do right here. So we're going from politics to sports now on the back end of BKP's program, and Amanda Evans is sticking around on the controls as well. Amanda, how are you doing this morning?
Guys, I'm glad to have you on.
I understand you're a big sports fan.
A
big sports fan. So
every day.
You're going to be able to chime in with some expert analysis, and we're excited about that. So, that's what it's all about. So Amanda's doing a great job with us. She'll be on with us. You'll hear her voice because I'm going to put her on the spot here and there, but not too bad. Don't worry. I'm not going to get her that bad. But let's talk about this program real quick because, again, the who, it's Fetcher News, it's Team FYN Sports. We've got folks in different areas. In addition to Luther, I'm excited to be part of this program. A lot of you, of course, know me from my years at ETC and some of the other broadcasting things, but I'm excited to be part of this team as well. BKP had a conversation with me years ago and said that one day, we were gonna work together in some capacity, and I said, yeah, right. I don't think that's ever gonna happen. And long story short, about 9 years later, I guess, here we are, and we're excited about what we've got to offer. You and I are looking like twins today. with our black polo shirts on here.
Except for the haircuts.
Well, you got a good clean look though. So I'm losing it in the back. If I turn around, it wouldn't look as good. But anyway, but we're glad to have you with us. This show is something that I've looked forward to now for a while. Once the conversation got going about the direction of where we wanted to go, and so each and every week for an hour, starting out. Live on Mondays. Again, it's available on fyntv.com and throughout the week as well. You're also going to see a lot of this going out on Facebook and stuff, so be sure to check out our Facebook page as well. But we're going to talk about a lot of things that are going on, and especially with high school sports. And as we know, right now is a very busy time.
It is. Baseball season winding up. A few teams in the area getting ready to, challenge the state. Got some tough competition ahead.
No doubt about it. No doubt about it. Let's talk about the changing of the guard. One thing that I wanted to hit right off the bat here in the first segment of the first program are some of the personnel changes. And we're kind of coming in a situation right now where we're getting towards the end of the season. We're getting into region. We're getting into state. I know the state sectionals for track and field are this weekend, for example. So there's a lot of things going on. And so we're kind of hitting some of the stuff on the back end as we kind of get ready for the summer and some of the what we say slower times when it comes to scholastic sports. But we have had a couple of coaching changes. Chad Cheatham has been hired as the new Rebels football coach in Fannin County. He comes to Fannin from Banks County, but he's a native of Fannin, played rec ball all the way through. I know you've covered this a little bit. What do you think of this hire?
I think it's going to be good. He's younger. He's energetic. He's coming in with a new mindset for the guys. In speaking with him a couple weeks ago, he actually mentioned that he's going to be, of course, GHSA don't allow recruiting outside your area, but he's going to be recruiting inside the hallways.
There you go.
He stated that there's guys in there that can play football that's never been approached or given the opportunity, so he's going to reach out to those students as well as his assistant coaches to help him do that.
Sure.
To really do it. I believe he's going to be good. This is his first head coach, actually his second head coach. Opportunity, but he's never coached on the field. Banks County, he was replaced as the Banks County coach after the season last year, and real quick he was kind of brought to Fannin.
When this job opened up, kind of had a change of heart, I guess, want to come back home. Well, I guess there's always that attraction.
Yes, sir. Yes, well, he was born and raised here. He played rec football here. He played middle school football here, and being an alumni of the high school, he's coming home. And he is so excited.
There you go. We're going to talk more about these as well. I mean, throughout the season, obviously, and we're going to talk a little bit later in the show about spring football practice. So it's obviously going to be a different spring to be able to see how Coach Cheatham, what he brings in, on both sides of the ball and philosophy there. Meanwhile, Pickens County, the Dragons basketball team also has a new head coach on the boys' side. Coach Mike Duffy comes to Pickens High School to replace the departed Brad Steinhauer. Coach Duffy, of course, spent the last 12 years in Dalton, where in 29 years of coaching, he's compiled 441 wins. He had a 217-101 record at Dalton. What about this hire right here?
I'm not too familiar, other than the research I've done. I think he had like 212 wins and 101 losses while at Dalton. Made 5 first-round state appearances in the playoffs. I believe it's going to be a good fit. I'm really anxious to see how the players adapt. He obviously has a different coaching style than Steinhauer did, and 29 years, he has to know what he's doing.
I was going to say, that's a long time, certainly, to be in the game there, no doubt about it. So we're excited to have Coach Mike Duffy in our local area as well, the new boys basketball coach at Pickens High School. He's averaged 19 wins a season over the last 6 years. So, again, we're going to talk more about these coaching changes. Any of our coaching changes, coach hirings in the local area, we call it the changing of the guard, and that'll be a segment right here that we'll have for you on Instant Replay. Let's switch gears real quick before we hit our first break, talk about a regional recap from the weekend. How about the Atlanta United? Now, I tell you what, a lot of folks in the Atlanta area and surrounding areas have embraced this soccer team. I don't know how big of a soccer fan you are, Luther, but let me tell you, the Atlanta United has brought a lot of excitement to this town.
And we needed that. Needed that. Unfortunately, with our other sports in the Atlanta area, there's been a lot of disappointment over the years. And right now, United is actually made us forget about some of the others.
Absolutely.
And being a soccer fan, as I am, later 2 years in high school as a varsity goalkeeper.
But you see, you learn something new every day.
So yes,
yeah.
I am very. Of course, I was only a goalkeeper because I didn't want to run up and down the field.
Right, well, exactly.
So,
see, the truth comes out.
But yeah, United are they're not taking just Atlanta, they're taking the state and the country by storm. There's fans everywhere.
I'm a Five Stripes fan, no doubt about it. 2-0 win Saturday night against the LA Galaxy, and Zlatan Ibrahimovic has brought a lot of publicity to the MLS coming over from Europe, and again, a great job there by the Atlanta United. We'll talk more certainly about those guys, especially as we hit the summertime there. And the Atlanta Braves off to a great start. 12-8 overall, rained out yesterday against the Mets, but just 2 games out of first place right now. I've been very impressed with this young Braves lineup early in the year.
They've shocked a lot of people. They started out, they were leading the National League in runs scored. I think just the other day, the Pittsburgh Pirates actually passed them, which is another shocking team in the National League right now. But yeah, they're really good. It's got some pitching, little quirks to work out.
Sure.
But I think we're going to be fine. I think we're going to be good.
Could be worse. Could be the Reds right now, 3-18. To start the season.
The Reds have a team?
The big red machine's not so big right now.
I thought Cincinnati canceled that team.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah.
Just kidding.
But the Braves, of course, a lot of hype with Ronald Acuna hopefully joining the lineup soon. And so there's a lot going on for the Atlanta Braves. We're certainly going to talk a lot more about those guys, too, as the shows progress over the weeks. But we're throwing a lot at you here today on the new season premiere of Instant Replay. We're up against our first break. And by the way, that's kind of how we're going to name the show. We're going to have 4 quarters of the show. So we are wrapping up our first quarter segment of our first episode right here on Monday, April the 23rd. We're going to go ahead and take a quick time out. We'll return after this break, and we'll see you for the second quarter in a couple of minutes.
Hello, my name is Chad Watkins. I'm the manager at Larry's Body Shop. We are a family-owned and operated business and have been serving the North Georgia area since 1978. We are located at 1216 Progress Road in Ellijay, Georgia. Our shop specializes in collision repair, and we work with all major insurance companies. Larry's Body Shop is ICAR Gold, the highest role of training recognized by the collision repair industry. It is estimated that only 10% of collision shops meet these standards. Our shop consists of state-of-the-art equipment such as laser measurement system, down-drive spray booth, spot and MIG welding equipment. All of our paints are mixed on-site so that we can guarantee your paint to match every time. I know that having an accident can be a stressful event. We take pride in making sure our customers are satisfied with the repair of their vehicles. Our waiting area is clean and comfortable with free Wi-Fi and refreshing beverages. So if you're in an accident, stop by and see us at Larry's Body Shop.
Circuit World, brand name merchandise at unbelievably low prices. Furniture, appliances, and electronics. Circuit World is locally owned and operated, serving the tri-state area. Circuit World has highly trained professionals to help. Visit your hometown Circuit World today. 3 locations in Georgia, Ellijay, Blue Ridge, and Blairsville, Franklin, and Murphy, North Carolina. No credit checks, so let Circuit World deliver to you today.
North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds. Come on in to view the area's largest selection of fine jewelry at North Georgia Diamond. All repairs and designs are done on-site by our jewelers. And North Georgia Diamond has the lowest prices on loose diamonds. You can also sell your gold, silver, and coins at North Georgia Diamond between Walmart and Lowe's in East Ellijay. Locally owned by Bill and Allison Craig, North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds in North Georgia.
In 1981, Reed Nicholson began selling tires out of an old barn in Mineral Bluff. Little did he know that he had just laid the groundwork for the most trusted names in automotive services in the Blue Ridge area. In 1997, Nicholson Tire Center became what it is today, holding the same values of faith, family, and great customer service. 2 locations to serve you, and the Blue Ridge location is currently expanding to offer fast service and the largest U-Haul provider in Georgia. Nicholson Tire Center, Blue Ridge, and Mineral Bluff.
Medium Pizza Hut pizzas, just $5.99 each.
Did they say Pizza Hut?
For $5.99?
Yes, and yes.
Yes. Introducing the deal you want on the pizza you crave. 2 medium pizzas, just $5.99 each. No one out pizzas the hot.
And we welcome you back here to Instant Replay right here on FYNTV.com. Dave Garn alongside Luther Kinsey, Amanda Evans producing with us today, and Sammy behind the glass as well, and along with the rest of our team. We're going to jump into some high school sports in just a second, but first of all, G-Day game over the weekend. Big crowd over in Athens. I know you're a Tech fan, though, too, so a lot of folks having those spring games right now, and we're excited to talk about spring football practice, which we'll do in the next segment, but a lot of hype coming out of Athens, obviously, with that #1 recruiting class on display.
They are doing renovations at Sanford Stadium in the West End Zone. There's over 10,000 seats that were not available. And University of Georgia spring game, G-Day, still had more fans in the SEC show up to watch that than any other college in there. They had like 12,000 more than Alabama.
Right.
Had 84,000 plus.
That's crazy.
To watch a team scrimmage.
We were talking about the support of the Atlanta United, but obviously, love them or hate them if you're a Georgia fan or not. I mean, there's obviously a lot of support statewide for the Bulldogs, especially after the season they had. I mean, you can't deny. And admittedly, I'm I wasn't raised a Georgia fan either. I didn't go to school at in-state much. I went to Georgia Southern for a little while and graduated from Kennesaw, so I can't honestly say I wasn't in-state. But started out of state, walked on in Mississippi. But it's being a Tech fan all my life.
Yeah. I hear the boos coming from the audience now. You have to still pull for Georgia. You have to pull for your hometown teams, whether you like them or not. Now, Georgia fans will not agree with that about rooting for the Yellow Jackets, but that's okay. But yeah, it was really good. The Black Squad beat the Red Squad 21-12.
Yeah.
Justin Fields.
Yeah, threw a touchdown pass. Threw an interception, but threw a touchdown pass.
Yeah, I believe he had over 200 yards, I believe.
207, I believe, something like that, yeah.
Like 18 of 33.
Right.
This young man's a freshman.
Right.
Or Jake from State Farm, as everybody calls him, really, he's got the job. Right. He's not going to lose that job.
You're right. I don't think,
But he still needs to look over his shoulder.
He does, yeah. I don't think there was anything that came out of that game on Saturday that would have suggested that Justin Fields is ready right now to be the Week 1 starter. But, we'll see how things go in camp. It ought to be interesting.
Real quick, one last note on it. The makers stand out for me.
Yeah.
Monty Rice.
Yeah.
14 tackles and a sack.
Yeah, he could be the Roquan Smith. We talked about the replacement there. Absolutely.
Yes.
No doubt about it.
Yes, it's a spring game, but still, 14 tackles and a sack.
Yeah. That's stout. That's stout. That's
just amazing stats, and I really don't want to play him at the end of the season. Just so you know.
No doubt about it. Let's switch gears and talk about some high school baseball. A lot going on right now. We talk about spring season, baseball, track, golf, tennis, soccer, you name it, a little bit of everything going on here. How about those Fannin County Rebels, the #3 seed? They've earned a spot in the GHSA state playoffs. They had 8 straight region victories, clinching a playoff spot there. They're going up against Franklin County, the #2 seed out of the other side there, and you followed this team, and I know BKP's tight with the Fannin County Rebels as well. What's been your impression of these guys this year?
They never give up. Their focus is amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just amazing. When they walk, they're normal teenagers outside the gate. Mm-hmm. When they walk through the fence, they're ball players.
Right.
Yes, it's high school, but they take it serious enough that they're professional ball players when they walk in that gate. That's the attitude they have, and I love it. Yeah. Their dedication, you can tell they work hard. They're going to do everything they can. If they make an error, there's no frustration level to it.
Right.
It's oh well, let's
Right.
take the next one.
Well, you got to have a short memory. You got to have a short
You do,
memory,
you do.
especially you talk about football. Baseball's the same way, though. You've got to be able to shake that off. Senior night was held last week on Thursday, and 5 seniors honored: Jack Gobble, Grant Baker, and we're going to talk more about those two in the next segment. By the way, so we're going to talk a little bit more about some college signings and so forth. Cody Jacobs, Drew Forsman, and Garrett Rogers escorted out by family during senior night last week, and those guys are sorely going to be missed because this has been such a great run for the senior class over the last couple of years with the combination of what they've done on and off the field. I mean, academically as well. And so, congratulations to those seniors going out with the win, and a couple of them, like I said, next segment, we're going to talk a little bit about a couple of those guys during our Taking It to the Next Levels feature there. But what can you say about these seniors, man? What a run they've had.
Wow. They, last year was their first playoff appearance in several years.
Right.
Grant Baker, as you said, we'll speak more about him in the next segment. Really a vital role in getting them there.
Yeah.
He has a career, 3-year ERA right around 3.
Yeah.
Which is pretty awesome.
Pretty good, especially the high school level, no doubt.
There's a former Fannin County baseball player that's on the mound for Georgia Tech right now.
Yeah.
And Shearer.
Right, yeah.
And speaking with coaching staff, it's said that Mr. Baker's right there with him, matched him number for number.
Right.
So it's, there's some pretty dominant guys on the hill for them.
Yeah.
And like I said, the seniors are the leaders on the team. Their focus just rubs off on the underclassmen.
Right.
And their work ethic, there again, rubs off on the underclassmen. And that's where you learn it from. Seniors have to be that role model, and these guys were.
Absolutely, absolutely. How about the Pickens Dragons as well? Again, the Dragons baseball team finishing the season with 14 wins. They did lose over the weekend to Wheeler in a non-region ball game there, but the Dragons claimed the 4th seed out of Region 6 4A. They will be taking on a daunting task in the number 1 seed out of Region 5, the Cartersville Purple Hurricanes. A lot of history. Cartersville, Pickens, they seem to share. Coaches tend to go back and forth. I mean, they have a lot of history there. That's going to be a tough matchup to say the least in round 1.
This could be sequel to the old football movie in the baseball version, Facing the Giants.
Right, yeah.
Cartersville, obviously being the number 1 seed, are stout.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's no other words to describe them other than stout. That's going to be a very daunting task.
Yeah, Joseph Gossett, of course, one of the guys leading the way headed to the next level, as we've talked about with the Pickens Dragons, and so that should be a lot of fun as well. Again, keep it right here on the Instant Replay as we recap all of these playoff series for you. We're just once a week right now on Monday, so again, you have to wait till the next Monday to get the clean sheet, if you will, on some of these ball games there, but we're looking forward to it. Meanwhile, the Gilmer Bobcats baseball team closed out the season last week with a loss to Fannin 7-2. The Bobcats finished the season with just 8 wins. A team, you and I talked a little bit about it, a little bit snake bit, had a lot of 1 and 2 run, a lot of close losses late in ball games. Was just the Achilles heel this year.
It was a very disappointing season for Coach Thurman and the Cats and the Bobcats. It's been a long time since I've seen a team have the misfortune they had in the late innings.
Yeah.
Just would hold a 2 or 3 run lead, and it seemed like the opposing batters would just figure out what the Bobcat runners, the pitchers would throw.
Right.
It's like they would dominate for so many innings.
Yeah.
And then they were still throwing strikes.
Right.
It's just they were getting hits.
Just had a tough time.
And
yeah.
It was.
Closing them out.
I mean, for instance, earlier in the year, 9 innings at Pickens.
Yeah.
Held the lead, tied it, held the lead, got tied, received the tie again, and then 9th inning, Pickens on just a excellent hit, ended the ball game in 1-7-6.
Right.
And
those two have combined for some great games.
Oh yes,
a lot of those.
Yes.
It's like a broken record when you talk about Gilmer Pickens baseball. I mean, that's a lot of the games that I've seen over the years have been that way. 1-run games, extra inning games. I mean,
well, being fairly new to the area, from Gainesville originally, you see a lot of the rivalries over there.
Oh yeah.
Pickens Gilmer baseball and Pickens Gilmer football are my 2 favorite rivalries now. They are just, and I really cannot wait. And this will be my first football season for Team FY Sports, and I just cannot wait.
Can't wait. That's gonna be a lot of fun.
It's gonna be exciting.
A lot of fun.
One more quick note. You was talking about the show being live on Monday, and airing, waiting till next Monday to catch the recaps. If you'll go to Team FYN Sports on Facebook, all the stories are updated there on a daily basis as the games finish.
Yeah. Absolutely, that's a good point. I'm glad you said that.
You'll find the full stories and galleries of the photos.
Yeah. You can. So we're always up to date.
Yes.
This is a weekly program right here, but there are daily updates through Team FYN Sports.
We are
no doubt about that. All over it, all the time. Gilmer baseball again, also saying goodbye to some seniors as well. 6 seniors. Brooks Rosser headed to Truett McConnell, by the way. Bradley Thomas, McKinley Chadwick, Eric Turner, Will Barnes, and Garrett Martin all celebrated senior night the other night as well. So congratulations to those guys on a great 4 years.
One bit of good news for McKinley Chadwick. He had Tommy John surgery before the season and was expected to miss the entire season. He was able to designate hit, but he couldn't actually get on the field and throw.
Right.
Last 3 games of the season, the doctor released him, and he got to play and finish out his senior year on the field. Very excited to see that. Great young man.
Always great. You love to see him bounce. He might be our bounce back player of the week right here. We might have to start that as well. So,
on a sad note about, and including Tommy John surgery, Austin Damon.
Yeah.
He has Tommy John surgery scheduled in the near future as well.
Right.
He's making a trip down to Florida to speak with the Major League Baseball doctors and set a plan for that.
Yeah, he's a great kid and
yes.
dual, several sports. Baseball thinks his focus certainly, but a guy that could
yes.
definitely make some noise at the next level as long as he's able to,
And he should be able to be. He's a sidearm pitcher.
Yeah.
And in his words, I just got behind on an off-speed pitch, and my arm couldn't catch up my elbow, and I heard the pop.
There you go.
Sad for the young man. He's a great young man. He's definitely a fighter. I've seen it on the field, and I know he will off the field to keep.
Absolutely,
to get back out there.
Certainly want to wish Austin good recovery there as well. Look forward to seeing him back out there. Let's switch gears. High school, middle school track and field. The Gilmer girls track and field team won first place at the region meet previous weekend, and congratulations to the Lady Cats. The Pickens Dragons boys finished as the runner-up on the boys side there. So again, a lot of folks headed to the state sectionals this weekend. Looking forward to it. The Gilmer boys track and field team finished 4th in the region, so not bad there at all. And Clear Creek, talking about middle school, they won their track and field meet on April 12th over Bagley Middle School. The boys won 74-33, and the girls won 84-25. I'd say those are pretty convincing results.
Yes.
So congratulations to Clear Creek Middle School. They've had a great year as well. You talk about the state sectionals for the high schools this weekend down in Columbus for 4A. Very excited about that. There's a lot of guys I think that are going to really make some noise. You've got a freshman in Pickens County and Seth White who won the region in the mile with a time of 4:47. That was a personal best. The Gilmer girls, though, meanwhile, as we talk about their entire team really coming together, and I wouldn't say it's a surprise that happened. Traditionally, they've had some pretty good athletes at Gilmer, but mostly I think with track more on the boys' side than the girls' side. But to see this girls' team, this high school girls' team from Gilmer win the region, man, that was unbelievable.
They really stepped up. I spoke with Marley Chadwick, which is the sister of McKinley we were just talking about, and she was just so excited. She was looking forward to it. She said, we did really good. It shocked us all.
Right.
We were just in real surprise that we were able to win first.
Yeah.
So that's good. That's given them some encouragement and enthusiasm that they really needed to push and drive them in the state. So hopefully they'll make a good showing.
Absolutely.
And of course, as results come in, Team FYN Sports will have it on the Facebook.
All over it. And next week, of course, we'll have a recap right here on instant replay of the state sectionals for you. Meanwhile, high school tennis also alive and well. The girls tennis going on into round 1 of state should be exciting. And the boys tennis team from Gilmer High School, I believe they took a first round loss against Cedartown in the state tournament there. So again, the high school tennis starting to wrap up in our local area. We're getting to that point, and it just with the launch of this program, how the timing of it worked, we're kind of hitting the tail end of the spring season there. So as we, but we're also hitting this as a very busy time as well. So I'm glad we got you guys and the other folks out in the field right now with Team FYN Sports to keep us up to date. Folks can always go there and check out the daily updates, and so I know you're all on top of it. Right. So yep.
And Gilmer girls, they took a tough loss to Central Carrollton.
Yeah.
Really very good tennis team. And there again with the boys, as well with Cedartown. Both matches were held at Gilmer. on Tuesday and Wednesday. But boys was originally scheduled for Monday, but that 36-degree weather just...
That's not tennis weather. That's just not tennis weather at all. So that's football weather. Yeah. That's not any weather to me. I don't like cold weather, period. So I don't like doing anything when it's 36. But anyway, yeah. Well, it was still a great season though, making state, both Gilmer girls and boys there. Congratulations.
So, yes, congratulations.
No doubt about it. We're going to go ahead and take another time out. That will wrap up our second quarter of the program. When we return, we're going to talk a little bit about a couple of our local athletes taking it to the next level, and we'll talk some high school soccer and an update from the newly renovated PHS Dragon Stadium. All that much more straight ahead. Stay with us.
Had the time of my life. I never felt like this before. I swear it's the truth, and I owe it all to you. I'll tell you something. This could be love, because I've had the time of my life. I've never felt like this before, 'cause I've had the time of my life.
The Tupelo Tea Mission is to provide over 80 premium tea blends for tea lovers who are looking for ways to explore new flavors and blends. Come visit Tupelo Tea, located in beautiful downtown Blue Ridge at Sycamore Crossing. Be sure to sample our various varieties of honey and tea. Visit us on the web at tupelotea.com or call us at 706-946-TEAS. That's TEAS. Tupelo Tea, located in beautiful downtown Blue Ridge.
Ace is your healthful place for paint and home goods, tools, outdoor living, and lawn equipment. But did you know Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge is a little bit more? We have hunting rifles and accessories for your next hunting trip. We have Amish furniture imported directly from Ohio. And we have Ace Custom Woodworks for all your custom wood project needs, from cabinets to artwork. Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge. We have your new house in stock.
Hi, I'm Rhonda the Mattress Lady, and this is my husband Gary, owners of Mattress Overstocked in Ella next to Walmart. And we want to earn your business. From the time you walk in our door to the time we deliver your new mattress to your door, you will see the difference. Our selection and prices are the best in North Georgia, and customer service is our top priority. So y'all come on in and let us help you find the right mattress at the right price. That's Mattress Overstocked in Ella next to Walmart.
Days ahead. Yellow pollen means green cash at Days Chevrolet in Jasper. The spring savings event is on at Days, and the discounts are deep. Now save up to $11,000 off select new 2018 Chevy Silverados, or up to $6,000 off select new 2018 Equinox. Pick any Chevy you want and save a bunch during the spring savings event going on now at Days Chevrolet in Jasper, where new Chevys cost less.
Better days ahead, Days Chevrolet.
Find new roads.
What you gonna do with all that junk?
Do all that kind of stuff.
5, 4, 3.
And we welcome you back to Instant Replay right here on FYNTV.com. Dave Garner alongside Luther Kinsey and the rest of our FYN sports team here. We appreciate you guys for tuning in. And the season premiere, if you will, of the new Instant Replay. And we're excited to have you on with us right here each and every Monday at 10 a.m. inside the Fetcher News Studios. And I can't guarantee that we'll be doing this show in the studio every week. There might be times down the road where we take the show on the road and go somewhere, preferably a restaurant with a good breakfast. Of course, I know 10 a.m.'s, I guess that's almost more of a brunch, but we'll have to figure that out.
Just throw some steak on there.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'll take it. I'll
Steak
take
and
it.
eggs,
Monday
big
morning,
sweet
you got to
tea.
get the week off to a good start,
yeah.
So
Maybe BKP will buy.
Oh, there we go. Maybe. You're pushing your luck, but maybe. Time now for a segment we like to call Taking It to the Next Level. This is one of our favorite segments, and we're not going to have this, obviously, every week, especially into the summer, but anytime one of our local student athletes signs a letter of intent to further their academic and athletic career at the next level, we want to talk about it. We're going to report it, and we have a couple of folks, one in particular that has signed, Senior Grant Baker of Fannin County Baseball, signing his letter of intent to further his athletic and academic career at Point University in West Point, Georgia. And again, Point is one of those up-and-coming, they've been around for a while, but the program is really on the move. And Grant Baker, a guy that you talked about, you bragged on in the last segment for Fannin County, is going to be a great addition. So excited to see this kid be able to take it to the next level.
Yes, and he's ready. He is ready. Point University is known as the Skyhawks. They're in the Appalachian Conference. They play probably the team most people that's in our viewing area here that's going to know is Reinhardt University.
Reinhardt, yep.
They're in the same conference, and that's going to be a good rival for him personally.
Oh, yeah.
Grant has, he's played up through JV. Like I said earlier, he has 3.0 ERA over the last 3 years. He was the Fannin Rebel Pitcher of the Year last year. In travel ball, he plays for an organization called Perfect Game.
Right.
It's one of the largest travel organizations in baseball right now.
Right.
9 consecutive all-tournament team picks.
Wow.
All on the mound.
That's something.
Just and as his coach told me, he's not your overpowering, Nolan Ryan, Roger Clemens, 95-mile-an-hour fastball guy.
Right.
He's a finesse pitcher.
Right.
He really has to work on placement, and he's got that.
Yeah.
He has got that. He's more your Greg Maddux, so to speak.
My favorite of all time. So
Mine
there you
as
go.
well. Nolan Ryan's my all-time favorite.
Well, yeah, I was going to say. That's,
Maddux
right.
is the man as far as being a total pitcher.
Sure.
He don't blow you away.
Right.
Just like Baker.
There we
Baker will
go.
not blow you away, but his off-speed and his placement is spot on.
Here we go.
And he's looking forward to it. It's going to be really good.
Awesome.
I'm excited to keep up with him and track him a little bit and see how he does. And it's going to be a good year for him.
Absolutely.
Good years.
Congratulations to
Yes,
Grant
sir.
Baker, headed to the next level at Point University. Now, speaking of Fannin Rebel baseball, senior Jack Gobble expected to sign a letter of intent in the days, weeks ahead. Could be hours, who knows. But whenever it happens, we're all over it. We'll have it for you right here as part of our Team FYN Sports coverage, and we'll have full coverage of the event as well. So expecting him as well. Sabrina Young down in Pickens County, cross country, is headed to Dalton State as well. And so we've had a couple that have happened over the last couple of weeks. We'll try to get you caught up on that. But as they happen from this point moving forward on the Instant Replay, now you guys have already had them on Team FYN Sports, but as they happen from this point moving forward, we'll have them right here on Instant Replay as well, because I want to have the opportunity to talk about them. I'm jealous. You guys get to cover this stuff. I don't really get out in the field anymore. A lot of folks know that I've transitioned from the TV side. I still moonlight every once in a while, but not really covering the high school sports like I did for, I guess, 15, 16 years. So this is a great opportunity for me selfishly to kind of keep my foot in the door and still be able to talk about this kind of stuff. But we're glad to have folks like Luther and the team FYN sports team as well. Let's switch gears and talk about some high school soccer. We talked about baseball, tennis, and track in the last segment there. Gilmer soccer, the girls with a 4-4 tie the other night. The boys took a victory over LFO, Lakeview Fort Oglethorpe, last week, 1-0. And again, Gilmer Senior Soccer Night was held last week as well. 5 Lady Cats and 6 Bobcats were honored. Renee Ninja Chastain, Grace Henderson, Talia Hernandez, who's also the valedictorian, and Tori T. Jack for the Lady Cats there. And on the boys' side, Parker Benitez, Nick Schmiel, Javier Landaverde, and Andres Irvin Lopez, Elias Velasquez, and Marvin Reynoso, team leader in goals over the last couple of years there. So congratulations to those young men and women from Gilmer celebrating senior night and having a pretty good year. Soccer seems to be traditionally, as we know, the further you go towards the city, Atlanta, private schools, very strong. Further out you got 10 years ago or so, not so much. But we're starting to see a little bit of Dawson County, Fannin County have had great soccer programs over the last 10 years or so. And now you're starting to see that trickle over into other areas of North Georgia.
Yeah, most definitely. Interesting note on Grace there for the Lady Cats. Mm-hmm. She hasn't really confirmed where she's going, but that young lady is going to be studying pre-med. Pre-med. Yeah. There is no way this guy can do that.
This one either. So, don't feel bad.
It's just, there's no way.
Yeah.
But Marvin Reynoso, 16 goals last year.
Right.
Led the team. It's his personal best. He was at 15 before this game against LFO.
Right.
And he looked at me and he stated, "I'm tying it and I'm breaking it." Well, he scored the only goal in the 1-0 victory, so he didn't break it, but he definitely tied it, and we'll keep you updated on whether that record's broken.
There we go. But he got the goal to win the game. Yes, at the end of the day, they'll take the W there.
And Lakeview Fort Oakland, 3-18.
Right.
They're AAA, of course. Gilmer being 4A. Right. Some people, what's a smaller school?
Yeah.
That game was action packed. They had both boys and girls for LFO, some very athletic young men and women out there playing the game, and it was a struggle. They played hard against the Bobcats.
Right.
So
there we go. Awesome. Great to see our local teams competing as well. And we're excited. In addition, I know we've talked a lot about Gilmer and Fannin and Pickens, but again, we're excited to be able to bring in other areas as well. We're going to feature Dawson County sports, Union County, all the areas that we serve right here at Fetcher News. Murphy, North Carolina, Lumpkin, White, you name it, Murray. We're excited to bring it to you. So again, we're looking forward to bringing in folks from those areas as well right here on the instant replay. Let's switch gears and talk a little bit about a lot of excitement. Speaking of Pickens in Jasper with the new high school football stadium. Got it. Gilmer put in the turf, Fannin put it in, and then Gilmer put it in. We've got it in other areas. I know Lumpkin's got it over in Dahlonega. Pickens has always had a beautiful natural surface, but just like anything else, it's tough to maintain. You got to go through soccer. Everyone uses the field. It tears it up. So again, obviously with the changing of the schools in Pickens County, with JMS basically closing down and shifting things around, they're going to have to play a lot more games on that high school stadium. So they're putting in the turf, and I know a lot of folks down there are excited about it.
Well, they should be. It's safer to play on. In my personal opinion, I've officiated, as I stated earlier, high school football for 18 years.
Right.
And after a good 3.5, 4 hour football game, and I know I'm a lot older than these athletes are, I will clarify that, but after 3.5 hours, you wake up on Saturday morning, your feet are hurting and your legs are hurting up to your knees from the grass. But for athletes' standpoint, one of these running backs does a cutback on a wet grass. His foot could grab, cause injury.
Right.
Turf, you're not going to have that quite as much because you don't wear the full cleat like you do on the grass surface. But for maintenance purposes, it's a win-win for the Board of Education.
Right.
It is. Yes, the cost of the turf field is fairly large.
Right.
But studies that I've read in the past have shown that the maintenance that they require still costs less than the maintenance required on a natural grass field
Right.
over the years. And, like I said, with the changing of the schools around and all that,
Yeah.
there's going to be a lot of maintenance on the grass field.
And it's not just for football. I mean, soccer obviously is going to get used out of it. A new track going in as well. So a lot of Pickens didn't really have a lot of home track meets this year, if any, due to that. And also an electronic scoreboard. So it's more than just the surface. It's also, it's big business now. High school sports is big business now. I mean, it really is. And so it's nice to see that, the additions going in there. I know a lot of folks are excited about it. The completion date at this point is undetermined due to weather and all the things, of course, that are going on there. That seems to be the case. But I think everything will be ready in time for football season, and that's all that really counts at the end of the day. Right. So speaking of spring football practice also cranking up. Now I know as some of the other sports that are in season begin to wrap up, I guess I'm assuming, I don't want to put words in here, but I'm assuming the focus is going to be spring football practice, which is getting ready to get going here.
I'd say 90% of your high schools start playing their spring game per se in the next 3 to 5 weeks.
Yep.
Georgia High School has set it up now where you don't have to just scrimmage yourself, as Georgia did in the G-Day game. Georgia High School has stated that in the 2018 season, you can now play your spring game against that real
another school. Right.
So practice is going to be more intense than it normally would be because you don't want your senior hitting your sophomore and hurting him because you're all teammates. So it's going to be a little different, more intense. It's going to be a little bit more excitement. Spring practice. Spring practice is going on and starting for a lot of schools right now.
Right.
And yes, we will be focusing on it hard and heavy.
Yeah. A lot of tradition. I mean, you look at Murphy, the Bulldog. What they've done over the years. Yes. Union is those guys have done a great job. Coach Allison up there. Murray County. North Murray. I mean, there's some good things building even just beyond what we call our Highway 515 corridor. Of course, Coach Parker down in Pickens. We all know Coach Wingard. Another season in Gilmer. Coach Cheatham. We talked about up top today with the new coach in Fannin County. So there's a lot of things happening. It's going to be very interesting to see, philosophically, especially with a couple of new coaches in the area, what they're going to bring. But then also the established ball coaches, the Coach Parkers and so forth, who can now say that they've been there a while. They're the more senior coaches there. Yes. But we don't mean that by age, Coach. But you see what I'm saying. So it's going to be interesting to see what comes out of spring this year.
It is,
especially with the competition, like you talked about.
Yes, it's really good for high school football that Georgia High School did this.
Right.
It's awesome that they're going to be able to play another opponent. They can really see where their team is at that moment in spring practice.
Right.
And it's really going to determine, does my junior linebacker at 254 really need to get in the weight room?
Right.
Because at 254, he's playing like 154.
Right, yeah.
You're going to see that because you're facing real competition. Now, of course, they're still going to protect the quarterbacks. And protect the kickers.
Control
things like that.
to a certain extent.
They're going to have probably just, thing they call dead kicks.
Right.
Where the punter may punt the ball and it's dead just wherever he catches it.
Right, yeah.
Things of that nature. And that's smart. Quarterbacks and kickers are really more accessible to injury than anyone else because that's who you're trying to take out more than the others.
Exactly.
So it's going to be a controlled environment, but it's really good for high school football, and these teams around here will benefit from that.
Here we go. Sounds good. Well, Luther, thanks for joining us. This is the end of our third quarter segment, but we're going to let him get back to it here because I know you got a busy day.
I do.
And we're going to come back with the fourth quarter segment in just a moment. But looking forward to working with you, man.
Yes, sir.
Good job here today.
And glad you're a part of Team FY Sports.
Well, I appreciate that. And we'll see you next week. We'll take a time out and be right back with our fourth and final quarter segment of this week's show. Stay with us.
Hello, my name is Chad Watkins. I'm the manager at Larry's Body Shop. We are a family-owned and operated business and have been serving the North Georgia area since 1978. We are located at 1216 Progress Road in Ellijay, Georgia. Our shop specializes in collision repair, and we work with all major insurance companies. Larry's Body Shop is ICAR Gold, the highest role of training recognized by the collision repair industry. It is estimated that only 10% of collision shops meet these standards. Our shop consists of state-of-the-art equipment such as laser measurement system, down-drive spray booth, spot and MIG welding equipment. All of our paints are mixed on site so that we can guarantee your paint to match every time. I know that having an accident can be a stressful event. We take pride in making sure our customers are satisfied with the repair of their vehicles. Our waiting area is clean and comfortable with free Wi-Fi and refreshing beverages. So if you're in an accident, stop by and see us at Larry's Body Shop.
Circuit World, brand name merchandise at unbelievably low prices. Furniture, appliances, and electronics. Circuit World is locally owned and operated, serving the tri-state area. Circuit World has highly trained professionals to help. Visit your hometown Circuit World today. 3 locations in Georgia, Ellijay, Blue Ridge, and Blairsville, Franklin, and Murphy, North Carolina. No credit checks, so let Circuit World deliver to you today.
North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds. Come on in to view the area's largest selection of fine jewelry at North Georgia Diamond. All repairs and designs are done on site by our jewelers. And North Georgia Diamond has the lowest prices on loose diamonds. You can also sell your gold, silver, and coins at North Georgia Diamond between Walmart and Lowe's in East Ellijay. Locally owned by Bill and Allison Craig, North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds in North Georgia.
In 1981, Reed Nicholson began selling tires out of an old barn in Mineral Bluff. Little did he know that he had just laid the groundwork for the most trusted names in automotive services in the Blue Ridge area. In 1997, Nicholson Tire Center became what it is today, holding the same values of faith, family, and great customer service. 2 locations to serve you, and the Blue Ridge location is currently expanding to offer fast service and the largest U-Haul provider in Georgia. Nicholson Tire Center, Blue Ridge, and Mineral Bluff.
Medium Pizza Hut pizzas just $5.99 each.
Did they say Pizza Hut?
For $5.99?
Yes, and yes.
Yes. Introducing the deal you want on the pizza you crave. 2 medium pizzas just $5.99 each. No one out pizzas the hut.
And once again, we appreciate you joining us for this edition of the Instant Replay right here on FYNTV.com. I'm your host, Dave Garner. I want to thank Luther Kinsey for sitting in with us today, doing an excellent job, and Amanda's behind the glass on the controls as well. We are now into our 4th quarter segment of the show, and that means it is time for us to get ready to wrap things up here, but we got a lot more to talk about over the course of this last 10 minutes or so, and we start with a little segment I like to call Out of Bounds. Now, again, this can be a couple of different things. Sometimes this may be a rant. It might just be trying to prove a point. But let me just say that the opinions of Dave Garner are not necessarily those of Fetcher News. But anyway, so again, this week's rant has to do with the offsides rule in soccer and hockey, if you will. It's one of those rules that's commonly confused. A lot of people don't really understand what the offsides is, and a lot of folks, again, are not soccer fans because there's not a lot of scoring, there's not enough action, they say, a lot of different things. What if, and this is a moot point because it'll never happen, all right, but I can honestly say that I've become a soccer fan over the last year or so, but what would happen, and I want you guys to imagine this, ride with me for a second, if we got rid of the offsides rule in sports like soccer and hockey? I think that would really encourage a lot more scoring. Now, a lot of your traditionalists are going to say, well, you can't, then you got guys loitering around the goal. Well, you know what? That's what your defensive line, drop somebody back to cover them, just like basketball. It's 5-on-5, but there's nothing that says a guy can't loiter down on the other end. It's called a fast break. I mean, what happens a lot of times in transition, guys are able to get back and score. Defensively, they have the responsibility to get back and cover that guy, right? Well, I think if you did away with the offside call, you have a lot more fast breaks, and you'd have a lot more of those one-on-one, those exciting plays in soccer and hockey where now that offside rule currently exists. So I'm going to lobby for that, and I'm not going to be successful, I can tell you right now, but I'm going to lobby for getting rid of the offsides rule because no one understands it anyway. It's too confusing, and if you took it away, it would encourage a lot more offense, which in turn would encourage a whole lot more excitement and fan base and support and all that. So there it is. Just random thoughts, deep thoughts by Dave this morning right here on the Instant Replay in a segment I like to call Out of Bounds. All right, so let's switch gears and talk about the best of the rest. This is our national update right here. A lot of stuff going on. We've talked a lot about high school sports, and make no mistake, folks, that will always be the focus, number one focus and priority of this program will be to promote and highlight student athletes in a positive way, and we've done that over this last hour or so. But we also do want to touch on other things because we understand that a lot of you out there like other sports at other levels. So we want to make sure that we cover it all. As Luther said, and the motto of FYN, Team FYN Sports is, we're all over it. So we're all over everything, not just high school sports. We're going to touch on regional, national, and also stories of interest from around the world when it comes to the world of sports. The great thing about sports is, and a lot of folks are not sports fans, and they say, it's just not that important, I'm not a sports fan. I'm going to tell you why sports are important for just a second. The reason that sports are important because it's the one thing that can bring communities, countries together, especially in tough times. You go to a ball game, for example. You may not share the same political beliefs, the same religious beliefs as someone that's sitting right next to you, but guess what? If you've got the same jersey on as that guy sitting next to you, and you score a touchdown or hit a home run or whatever, and you're high-fiving these guys around you, don't tell me that sports is not good. Don't tell me that sports don't bring people together. That's why these things that we talk about may not be life-changing issues for a lot of people, but it's still very important. And don't tell the moms and dads and grandmothers and siblings out there that high school sports are not important either, because you're going to have to answer to a lot of folks, no doubt about that. So I appreciate what we do here. I hope you guys do too, and we're excited to see you each and every week. So best of the rest, our national update. Let's talk NASCAR for just a moment. Kyle Busch, a winner at Richmond on Saturday night. My son always loved growing up and being a Kyle Busch fan because of the M&M's car. He loved the candy, but everyone else hates Kyle Busch. So it is what it is. Kyle Busch, a winner on Saturday. The NBA playoffs, big games last night. Cleveland able to come back, tie the series against the Pacers, who were leading at 2-1. Cleveland with a late push in that ball game. That series is tied 2-2. San Antonio forcing a Game 5 over Golden State. Greg Popovich, of course, his wife passed away over the weekend. So again, he was not coaching last night, Greg Popovich, but a very motivated San Antonio team able to stave off elimination there. Golden State still up 3-1 though as that series goes back to Oakland. Some big series. The Washington Wizards even up the series against the number one Eastern Conference seed Toronto Raptors last night. That series now 2-2. And how about Rip City getting swept? Rip City, the 3 seed out of the Western Conference, getting swept by the Pelicans. Just a crazy series there. Even without DeMarcus Cousins, this Pelicans team is still pretty stout. Anthony Davis leading the way there, and we'll talk a little bit more about the NBA for those of you that are interested in that. NFL. Now, again, I'm not going to go into a lot of detail here because BKP admittedly is not a fan of the NFL. But I will say this. Round 1 of the NFL draft is Thursday night. They have, of course, over the last couple of years have moved the draft to a prime time, and the Atlanta Falcons are on the clock with the 26th overall pick in that first round. It'll be interesting to see what happens there. Also, the NFL has released their schedules, and the Atlanta Falcons, speaking of, will open the NFL season on that first Thursday night against the defending Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles in Philadelphia. That will be the kickoff game, and so the Atlanta Falcons in prime time a couple of times this year. A lot of excitement going on as folks get set to head on over to Flowery Branch. Training camp will be here before you know it. The OTAs are hot and heavy, and so again, a lot of stuff going on around the country, and especially in the way of professional sports. We talked earlier in the show about the Atlanta United. What a start for those guys. They have been absolutely phenomenal this year. They have now come away with points in 7 straight matches after being shut out in their opening match against the Dynamo 4-0. Ever since then, the Atlanta United has done no worse than a tie. They have come away with points, and they got 3 more points on Saturday night with a big win over the LA Galaxy out in LA. The Atlanta Braves also starting a series as well with the Phillies, and so we're excited about that this week. And we'll talk a little bit more about the Atlanta Braves, who continue to rock and roll here, man. I tell you what, they've been one of the more impressive teams so far in the early going. We started the show today by talking a little bit about coaching changes at the high school level, and we talked a little bit about spring football. We've talked about high school baseball, soccer, track, tennis. We might have to get some golf stuff going on there as well. That might be about the only thing I think that we haven't really hit. But other than that, it's been an awesome show as I look back through my notes here to make sure we have it all covered before we go off the air here today. Once again, a big shout out to all the folks behind the scenes here today. Amanda Evans, again, our producer, Luther Kinsey, my co-host in with me here today, and I am Dave Garner. We're going to see you next week, same time, same place, right here on FYNTV.com. You have been watching the Instant Replay. That's it for this week. We will see you next week, so stay tuned right here as we continue to bring you the best in local sports. And remember, Team FYN Sports, highlighting and promoting student athletes in a positive way. And guess what? We're all over it. We'll see you next time.